Chapter 41 Facial Mask. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Several people saw that Qin Xue was really confused, and they couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. She was really amazing, what he said was so accurate. It seemed that Qin Xue must not only have good medical skills, but they were even more convinced now. Qin Xue, when can we make the facial mask you mentioned? Feng Xiu asked again, and the other two people agreed. You can do it whenever you want. It's best to get off work at night. I'm not busy at that time and I just rest and my skin can absorb it well after I finish it. Qin Xue thought about how she used to apply facial mask while sleeping in her previous life, and fell asleep every time while applying it. Okay, let's make the facial mask tomorrow night. I'll buy the things I need after get off work today. Except for brown sugar, red dates, honey, and eggs, which are a little harder to buy, everything else is easy to buy. Just buy as much as you can at that time, and buy more when you have tickets later. After Feng Xiu finished speaking, the other two people had no objection. It was Qin Xue who paid them such a high salary that they dared to be so wasteful. Otherwise, if others found out, they wouldn't be able to accuse them of being prodigal. Okay, as long as you buy it, I will make a facial mask for you personally. Qin Xue wanted to mix the facial mask for them personally or add space water into it. This Lingquan is a good thing, not Qin Xue. Let's take myself as an example. Since drinking and bathing in Lingquan water, my skin is white and tender, and my face is rosy and delicate. If Chu Molin came back now, he might not be able to recognize her. A few people finished lunch and cleared away the dishes while chatting and laughing, except Qin Xue climbed into bed and took a nap with Jing Tao while she was pregnant. Yu Xiu was looking after the clothing store next door. And Feng Hong and Feng Xiu both started making clothes. There was no need to rush. Two people are making clothes for one store to sell. The trial operation discounts are easy to sell in the past few days. After the opening, it will probably stabilize, and then there may be no need to rush. Everyone was doing their own thing. They were not dissatisfied because Qin Xue took a nap and did not do anything. Instead, they worked hard to do their own things. It was also because they were so grateful that Qin Xue promoted them wholeheartedly, and they became the iron women in the business world that was praised by everyone in future generations. Even when they were old and chatting with their children and grandchildren, they never forgot to say that they are where they are today because of Qin Xue. Without Qin Xue, they would not have achieved what they have today. In the afternoon, when Qin Xue got up from sleep, she found that Jing Tao had woken up and was playing with her hands quietly beside her without crying. Qin Xue pulled his little hand with her hand, and he giggled and played more enthusiastically. After teasing Xiao Jingtao, Qin Xue looked at the time and saw that it was almost 3 o'clock. She had slept long enough, so she went to wash her face and wake up to prepare some drawings. Once the trial period is over, you have to find a clothing factory to cooperate in making clothes. Otherwise, Feng Xiu and Feng Hong alone cannot meet Qin Xue's requirements. After all, Qin Xue wants to enter thousands of homes. People who go to work soon and people in factories are getting off work, and business is about to get busy. Qin Xue is looking forward to business booming so that there will be more tickets. As time went by, more and more people came into the store. Feng Hong stopped making clothes and came over to help get clothes for customers to try on. Everyone who enters the store takes at least one piece with them, and some buy 4 or 5 pieces, saying they will give them to the sisters at home. Qin Xue praised her good temperament while collecting the money, which made her face smile. Qin Xue also didn't expect that she had a talent for business. In her previous life, except for the scalpel, she had never done anything in business. She was just optimistic by nature. Her grandparents taught her not to feel sorry for herself just because her mother died and her father didn't like it. In this life, Qin Xue wants to do everything she has never done before. Feng Xiu made dinner, and she carried little Jingtao on her back in a sling. As long as he was too busy and no one was looking at him, Feng Xiu would always carry him on his back. Otherwise, if there were so many customers who were not paying attention, he would be afraid that someone would carry him away and it would be too late to cry. Where would he be looking for him? Feng Xiu made dinner and took turns eating. They were busy until 10 o'clock in the evening before closing the door. Everyone was exhausted and paralyzed. Fortunately, Feng Hong took the time to make a phone call back to the institute earlier to inform Xie Jun and Su Fangzhou. this is because after Qin Xue's trial operation yesterday, she knew that there would be so many customers in the past few days that she would have to close the shop late and have no car to go back to, so today, several women decided not to go home for the next few days, so they would stay in the store. Since there was no place to sleep, they would sleep on a bunk on the floor, so they spread out a mat and started sleeping. Fortunately, the weather is starting to get hot, and there are many people in the store who are not afraid of the cold, otherwise Qin Xue and the others would have to stay in a hotel. It doesn't matter if Qin Xue among the three of them comes back, and Fang Hong's child is fine living in junior high school. It's just that Yu Xiu's daughter is too young, which is a pain for our Su Fangzhou. I drop him off in the morning and pick him up in the afternoon, and I have to sleep with him at night. I wonder if he will cry. Qin Xue listened to Yu Xiu's restless sleep and thought that she was worried about the child, so she thought about letting Yu Xiu get off work early, take the car back and come back in the morning. Our hero will be out soon. Are you looking forward to it? Chapter 42 Liangmei Garment Factory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies by, and after a few days of trial operation, Chenxi finally got on track and stabilized, and almost all the clothes he had made were sold. Qin Xue calculated that it cost nearly 10,000 yuan with principal and interest. Qin Xue took 2,000 yuan to buy another batch of fabrics and came back. The rest was deposited by Qin Xue in the bank. Today, Qin Xue took out one of the Chongsan design drawings and a fluffy princess skirt design drawing to Fang Hong and others and told them that she was going out for a while. I took some design drawings of summer clothes and went to the clothing factory to rush out a batch of summer clothes. Although time is a bit tight, if I can make it in time, I can still make it in time for this summer's sales. Qin Xue took a backpack and packed it with 1,000 yuan. In the bag, there was also a cup with spiritual spring water and an umbrella. Qin Xue put the backpack on her back and went out. After preliminary inquiries, Qin Xue learned that there are two clothing factories in the western suburbs. One is the Patriotic Garment Factory and the other is the Liangmei Garment Factory. Qin Xue is now in front of Liangmei Clothing Factory. Why did she come to Liangmei Clothing Factory first? The main reason is that Qin Xue thinks that this name should be suitable for a good clothing factory, so he came over. Qin Xue walked to the guard room and saw a man in his 50s. Uncle, hello, my name is Qin Xue. Is your factory director here? May I ask for your factory director? Girl, you have to register before you can go in. The guard uncle handed Qin Xue the registration book and pen. After registering, Qin Xue was brought into the factory headquarters. What caught his eye in the factory director's office was a woman in her mid-20s. This woman's facial features looked quite beautiful. She was wearing a skirt suit. Her top was a bit tight on her chest, but it was loose below her chest, making her look very old-fashioned. Today's skirts are not the skirts of later generations that tighten the waist and show off the figure. Wearing ill-fitting clothes on a good figure is useless. She has sprayed a lot of low-quality perfume on her body, and her fragrance is so strong that Qin Xue almost feels sick to her stomach. However, Qin Xue did not show any discomfort. Qin Xue's impression was greatly reduced at this sight. If this beautiful factory director was this woman, there would be no need to cooperate. Director Xiao, this girl is looking for factory director Li. Please help call the factory director later. I'm going back to work. The guard handed Qin Xue to Xiao Li and returned to his post. Hello, Director Xiao, I am Qin Xue. Is your factory director here? Upon hearing this, Qin Xue was lucky that this was not the factory director, otherwise Qin Xue would rather turn around and leave. Our factory director is not here. If you have anything to do, just tell me. Xiao Li looked at Qin Xue and wished she could eat Qin Xue. This pregnant woman came to Li Dawei. Could it be that he was Li Dawei's new girlfriend who dared to go behind her back? Find another one outside. Qin Xue looked at the look in this woman's eyes as if she wanted to eat him, and thought to herself that she had not offended her, so what was the purpose of revealing this look? Oh, I'm going to talk to your factory director about something, can you take charge? The director of the factory is not here now, you can talk or not. Xiao Li felt as if her tail was stepped on. What could happen if she came to Li Dawei with a big belly? This woman is beautiful, she must be one of Li Dawei's mistress, isn't it because of their chicken that doesn't lay eggs that he and Li Dawei are together? But it had been a year since she was pregnant with a child. Li Dawei must have found another one behind her back, and now that she was pregnant, she came to her door. Are you really not here? Are you sure you don't want to go to your factory director to talk to me? Don't you regret it? Qin Xue couldn't help but ask. What are you regretting? If you say you're not here, you're not here. How could Shaoli let Qin Xue see Li Dawei in her own territory when this woman came to visit her? Okay then. I won't bother you, let me take my leave. Qin Xue didn't bother to look at people's faces. She stood dangerously at the corner when she left the office. When she looked up, she found that she had almost bumped into someone because she hadn't paid attention. After saying sorry, he turned sideways and walked towards the factory gate. Li Dawei looked at the woman who almost bumped into him and found that he had never seen or noticed her. Entering the office, she found Xiao Li in her office again. Director Xiao, why are you here? Go back to your office to work. Director, I have something to do with you. But Li Dawei knew that it was working time now and this was not a place where he could mess around in the factory. When I came here just now, I saw a pregnant woman. Who is that here for? That Xiao Li knew as soon as she heard that Qin Xue was not Li Dawei's lover. She didn't really come to see Li Dawei for something, right? Oh, that woman said she asked Qin Xue to talk to you about something. I said you were not here and asked her to tell me that I would tell her when you came back, but she left without saying anything. Xiao Li said coquettishly because of Li Dawei's touch. Oh, forget it. You are really a monster. I will feel better after get off work. Because of Xiao Li's teasing, Li Dawei was now full of fire but could not release himself. Qin Xue listened to the voices coming from behind. Was it the beautiful factory director who she almost bumped into? But now Qin Xue doesn't want to cooperate with Liangmei or not. What kind of good person can be who can be ambiguous with his subordinates in the office? I'm a name breaker. I really don't know what to name it. Hey. Please help me come up with more nice names for Wan. Thank you. Chapter 43 Aiguo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So no matter how good the business of this beautiful clothing factory is, it has now entered Qin Xue's blacklist. Qin Xue said hello to the guard and went to the patriotic clothing factory in front. The two factories were only a few dozen meters apart. Qin Xue still went to the guard room to register before being let in. The patriotic guard was not an uncle, but an uncle. According to his introduction, his surname was Li. Director Guo, this girl is looking for you. Uncle Li took Qin Xue to the factory director's office and went out. Director Guo, hello, I'm Qin Xue. Qin Xue extended her hand after introducing herself. Hello, I'm Aiguo. What do you want from me? Aiguo stretched out his hand and shook it, then let go and looked at Qin Xue and asked. I came to Patriotic Garment Factory today to discuss a business deal with you. I wonder if you are interested. Qin Xue looked at Director Guo, who had thick eyebrows and big eyes, a face with Chinese characters, and a simple and honest face. He didn't mince words but went straight to the point and made his intention clear. Business? What kind of business? Dissatisfied girl, tell me, I'm planning to close this factory, so what kind of business can I have with you? Aiguo also wanted to continue doing it, but without new designs, there would be no new styles. Customers and orders have been snatched away by Liangmei, so there is no business left to talk about. He also thought about closing the factory after completing this point. If it continued, he would suffer losses and would be unable to sustain it. Closed? Why? Is there no business because there are no new styles or because you can't compete with others? If there are no new styles, don't worry, I will have a solution. Qin Xue is really not afraid of this. Even if she doesn't know these business matters, doesn't she still have decades of experience from later generations? She can get through it by just copying them. Well, it all has something to do with it. It's not that I don't want to talk to you, but my business has been losing money recently because I have no orders. if I continue driving, I won't be able to support it anymore, so I can't lie to you out of conscience. Aiguo can't bear to part with it. Isn't there no other way? Director Guo, may I ask if this is your own factory? Since Aiguo doesn't want to continue doing it, can he rent it and do it himself? Yes, this is my own factory. I have been doing it for many years. If I had no other choice, I would not be willing to close it. Aiguo looked around with melancholy. Then can I ask factory manager Guo what you are going to do after closing? Oh, you said this, you didn't do anything. Just close the door and take a rest and go south, otherwise I won't do anything else. Aiguo heard that reform and opening up was about to begin, and he thought that if there was no business, he might as well go south to make a living. Qin Xue was silent after hearing this. Going south at this time was indeed the best plan. In the 1980s, many people went south to become prosperous. It's just that Qin Xue really didn't want to give up cooperation with Aiguo after seeing him, but she alone can't afford to open a factory with that little money. Director Guo, how about you listen to my opinion first and then decide whether to close the store or not? Seeing that Qin Xue still didn't give up, Aiguo thought it would be okay to listen, so he motioned for Qin Xue to sit on the sofa and listen. It's like this. I originally designed some clothes and wanted to ask you to help me make them, but now I heard you said you were going to close the shop. I just want to talk to you in another way. You see, you have ready-made factories, machines and workers. What is missing is new design drawings and business ideas, so I will use my design drawings to invest in your factory. These are the clothes I designed. You can take a look at them first. I will write you a proposal when I get back. When the time comes, you can decide whether to cooperate with me or close the business after seeing it. What do you think? Qin Xue took out the design drawing from her bag and handed it to Aiguo. As for the business plan, Qin Xue had never written a business plan, but she has written papers and medical reports, so there should be similarities. Aiguo took Qin Xue's design drawing and looked really shocked that this girl, who was only about 20 years old, could design such clothes. There was a look of hesitation on his face. It's true. If this person named Qin Xue really has a way to change it, it's not impossible. Then try. Okay, then you can show it to me and talk about it. Okay, are you free at this time tomorrow? How about this time? Aiguo finally let go. Qin Xue must seize the opportunity. Thank you for your support and surnames votes. I will work harder to update and write better. Please support me a lot, thank you, okay. Chapter 44 Rescue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, then you can come over at this time tomorrow, and we will talk then. Aiguo didn't want to give up this opportunity. Maybe a miracle would really happen. Okay, Director Guo, I won't disturb your work. I'll see you tomorrow. Qin Xue said goodbye to Aiguo, put the design drawings in her bag, and left. Only then did Qin Xue have the mood to look around, not to mention that there were not only two clothing factories, Aiguo and Liangmei, but also paint factories and lumber factories all mixed in this western suburb. Now Qin Xue was not in a hurry, so she walked slowly and watched. On the way, Qin Xue saw an orange seller and bought more than 10 kilograms of oranges. There was nothing she could do. Qin Xue has always wanted to eat these sour foods since she was pregnant, but she couldn't. Normally when I go to the supply and marketing cooperative, the fruit not only requires a ticket but is also in short supply and I can't buy it at all. Now that I finally encountered it, of course I have to buy more. One bag contained 2 kilograms, and the rest was put in another bag. The orange seller saw that Qin Xue bought more and gave her a few more, making Qin Xue want them all. Qin Xue paid the money and walked slowly with a bag of oranges in each hand. She found a hidden place in a deserted place and threw the larger bag into the space. Then she slowly walked out with the smaller bag of oranges. I was holding an orange in my hand and slowly peeled it and ate it. Well, it was so sour, but why did it taste so good? After eating one, Qin Xue took out another one with a slightly yellower skin and peeled it. Well, this one was quite sweet. It seemed that it was much sweeter than the cooked ones. After eating 2 pieces, Qin Xue clapped her hands and stopped eating, then walked quickly to the market with her bag in hand. seeing a lot of people gathered in front of her from a distance, Qin Xue turned around and wanted to walk to the side. Qin Xue was not interested in joining in the fun, so she only took 2 steps when she heard someone shout. "Someone has fainted here. Is anyone a doctor? Does anyone know medical skills?" Someone else shouted, "Someone has fainted. Go help and call an ambulance." Qin Xue didn't want to pay attention to it, but her professional habit made her stop and walk towards the crowd and use her hands to push away the crowd. "Let me be a doctor, let me go in and take a look." As soon as the crowd heard that it was a doctor, they automatically moved aside to let Qin Xue in. Qin Xue walked in and saw an old lady with gray hair lying on the ground. Qin Xue didn't care anymore and immediately cleared the crowd. "Everyone, please move aside and don't crowd around here. The patients need fresh air." Most of the people at this time were still very simple. After hearing Qin Xue's words, they all spread out and stood far away to let the air circulate. Qin Xue threw the orange away and knelt down to look at the old woman's face. She opened her eyelids and saw that the old man had a heart disease. She hurriedly knelt down and performed artificial respiration and cardiac resuscitation. Qin Xue found it much more difficult to do first aid on the ground because of her big belly, which was usually very simple. However, the situation did not allow Qin Xue to relax even a little bit. It was not until she performed cardiac resuscitation for 7 or 8 minutes that the old woman's breathing calmed down. Qin Xue touched the old man's pocket and took out a bottle. Qin Xue looked at the words and found that it was Jiuxin pills and poured out 2 pills. He took out his own water cup, opened it, fed the old man a little, and then put the lid back on. Then he put the pill under the old man's tongue and held it in his mouth. The ambulance that happened to be called also arrived. When the medical staff carried the old man into the car, Qin Xue thought for a while and handed her water cup over. She thought it was a spiritual spring and it would be good for the old man to drink it, so she gave it to her. The medical staff thought it was the patient's water glass, so Qin Xue took it as soon as it was handed over. They had no idea how the old man would go out with such a girly water glass. After watching the old man being carried into the ambulance and taken away, Qin Xue picked up the oranges that were thrown on the ground and carried them. Suddenly the crowd burst into warm applause. Qin Xue smiled and carried the oranges away. "I went to the supply and marketing cooperative to buy some black sesame seeds and brown sugar before returning to the store. I was lucky enough to meet them when I went back and were about to have lunch." Originally, Qin Xue had planned to cook some noodles, but now she didn't need to cook them and just eat them ready-made. Hey, to tell you the truth, many people like to eat sour food when they are pregnant. When I was pregnant, I picked and ate the plums that were just about the size of my little finger from the plum tree. I picked all the plums in the tree, and no one else could see them. It was so satisfying that I was the only one who enjoyed it. Smiley face, smiley face. Chapter 45 Writing a Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fang Hong saw Qin Xue coming back and asked, "Qin Xue is back, have you eaten?" "No, I didn't even have time to eat, so I came back and wanted to make a bowl of noodles." Qin Xue put the things she bought on the kitchen table, and when she went to wash her hands, Fang Hong took a pair of bowls and chopsticks and waited for Qin Xue to come over and start eating. Qin Xue picked up the bowl and scooped out a bowl of soup. "Why haven't you eaten at this time?" After speaking, he took a sip of soup. "Oh, it's nothing, it's just that business has been good since you left. They all came here after hearing others say that our clothes are beautiful. The trial period has passed. I will apply for a membership card as you said and get a 10% discount for purchases over 200 renminbi, and a 12% discount for purchases over 300 renminbi, valid for life." Most of the people who came today were offered 10% off, and a few were offered 12% off. Fang Hong helped me. Fang Xiu carried Taodao's cooking on her back, and she has been very busy since then. Yu Xiu said while holding quick tofu. "Yeah, I didn't expect business to be so good. When I opened a store here, my business was lackluster. I never thought that I would be as fulfilled and satisfied as I am now." Fang Xiu also sighed. "Our sound may be good for a few days, but gradually it won't be that good. But as long as our Chenxi clothing becomes famous, we don't have to worry about losing business. After all, our clothes are the only ones in the entire county that have the latest styles, but at the same time, there will be people who will follow suit, so we have to keep coming out with new styles. I went out today to find a clothing factory and wanted to cooperate with them, but whether it will be successful or not depends on the negotiations tomorrow. If the negotiation is successful, the income from selling clothes these days will have to be invested. Do you agree? Although the majority belongs to Qin Xue, they still have to seek their opinions. What they are doing now will be the shareholders' meeting in future generations. The most taboo thing among partners is unclear accounts. Agree, we will do whatever you say. The three said in unison. The three of them only contributed their efforts but not their money. What opinions could they have? Even if Qin Xue didn't ask them, they wouldn't have any objections, not to mention that Qin Xue was clearly discussing it with them now. That's good. After dinner, I'll write a project proposal, and I'll go to negotiate with their factory tomorrow. After Qin Xue said this, the others ate quietly. After the meal, Xue washed the dishes, Qin Xue wrote a plan at the counter, Fang Hong made clothes, and Fang Xiu breastfed the child. They each did their own thing. It was quiet and warm. Once Qin Xue is involved in something, it is difficult to be distracted. As soon as she writes the project, she writes until night falls. It is not until she finds that her neck is sore that she looks up and realizes that it is already dark. The lights in the store are all on. The current electric lights are yellow and not very bright. Many places don't have electricity at this time, so they still light oil lamps, because this is the county town. If you live in a rural area, you still don't have electricity. At this time, there was the sound of children talking next door. Where did little Jingtao come from? He couldn't speak yet. Listening carefully, it sounded like Xiao Jiejia's voice. Qin Xue finished writing the last 2 points and put the plan away in the drawer. He stood up and stretched and walked to the next door to see that Xiao Jiejia and Huzi were really here, playing with Xiao Jingtao, Fang Hong, Xiu and the others were cooking again, while Fang Xiu was watching the children playing. Fang Xiu, why are they here? Who sent them? Qin Xue asked Fang Xiu, pointing at Xiao Jiejia. Oh, you're talking about them. Section Chief Su sent them here. He said he didn't have to go to school tomorrow because it was Saturday. He had to go to work and couldn't watch the children at home, so he sent them here. If Sister Xiu doesn't go back on Sunday night, he will send someone to pick her up. Fang Xiu also felt that it was too difficult for Su Fangzhou. Xiu has been staying here with them this week and has not gone back to live, and she can't take care of the children. Oh, that's it. I guess the children missed their mother and tomorrow happened to be Sunday, so I sent them here. This is one reason, and another reason is that Section Chief Su misses Sister Xiu, but he has work and can't delay, so he just wants Sister Xiu to go home and see him when the child is delivered. Originally, Qin Xue was thinking that Xiu's children would ask her to get off work early in the afternoon and take the car back to the institute, but Xiu disagreed and had to live with them in the hotel, so the children came to find her. Chapter 46 Warmth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What you said makes sense. You don't know that these two children stared at Sister Xiu as soon as they got off the car and said, "Mom, why have you become so beautiful?" That I was staring at Sister Xiu's face and didn't I think there was much change. Do you think there is something wrong with my eyes or the children's eyes? Fang Xiu chatted with Qin Xue. Actually, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight. Aren't you all wearing the mask I made at night? It's very effective, okay? It's just that we see each other every day and don't feel that much has changed. But the children haven't seen sister-in-law Xiu for a week, so they can notice the changes in her as soon as they meet her. When people who haven't seen each other for a long time meet, not only the two children will feel a big change, but others will also feel a big change. Qin Xue is aware of this visual impact. What you said makes sense. By the way, Qin Xue, there are 2 more children tonight. You can sleep with me and Tao Tao tonight, and let the children sleep with their mother. In the past, it was Fang Xiu who took care of little Jingtao. Qin Xue and the others made the bed on the floor. I have no problem, everything is fine. Then I will sleep with our sister Fang Xiu tonight. Qin Xue joked. Okay, let's stop talking about washing hands and eating. Xue shouted while holding a plate of meat slices and fried cabbage. Oh, wash your hands and eat. Xiao Jie cheered and pulled her brother to the kitchen. People gathered around the table to eat, a dish of fried cabbage with sliced meat, a dish of cold cucumber, and a dish of fish head and tofu soup. Qin Xue likes to drink some soup before meals. She scooped up a bowl of fish head and tofu soup and drank it. It was so delicious. Little Jingtao sat on his mother's lap and watched everyone eating and stretched out his hand to grab it. Fang Xiu screamed when he refused to let him grab it. Auntie, if the little brother says he's hungry, just give it to him. You see, he's crying so pitifully. Little Jie saw that the little brother's mother wouldn't let him eat, so she wanted to push her bowl to him. Wow, our Jie also knows that my brother said he was hungry and wanted to eat. So, can Jie tell Auntie what the little brother said he wanted to eat? In fact, Fang Xiu had already cooked a bowl of fish soup to feed Jingtao later. After all, Jingtao was 5 months old and could take complimentary foods. He said he wanted food and vegetables. Xiao Jie answered in a really sweet voice. Well, thank you Jie. Auntie has some fish soup for you. When it gets cold later, Auntie will be feeding the little brother. You should eat first, my little brother still has teeth and can't eat rice or vegetables. Mom, please cook some porridge for your little brother tomorrow, okay? Xue gave Su Jia a piece of meat and said softly, I also gave Su Hu a piece of meat and a piece of cold cucumber for the 2 children. Mom, when will my little brother grow teeth and eat? Xiao Jie still had 100,000 reasons. Jie, eat first and be careful not to choke. If you have any questions, ask after eating. Xue patiently took care of the child. Okay, Mom, I get it. Well, our Jie is so good. Xue patted Jie's head and praised, while Su Jia narrowed her eyes with a smile. Qin Xue watched the interaction between Xue and her son, and wondered how she would get along with her child in the future. After the meal was finished with everyone laughing, Fang Xiu fed soup to little Jingtao. Qin Xue put the oranges she bought at noon on the table. She peeled some orange peels and soaked some brown sugar in water. Orange tea has a digestive effect and is good to drink after meals. Because the fresh orange peel is a bit spicy, Qin Xue soaked it with brown sugar to make it more delicious. Qin Xue poured a cup for each person. Auntie, this tea is delicious and sweet. Little Jie took a sip of the sweet tea and liked it. Jie, drink more if you like it, but remember to sip your mouth after drinking, otherwise your sweet teeth will be bitten by insects. Qin Xue saw that Jie liked it and didn't stop her from drinking too much. She just had to rinse her mouth or else she would get cavities easily. I know, thank you, Aunt. Brother, drink it quickly, the candy tastes delicious. This girl was taught well, and she drank it without forgetting her brother. Yeah, brother, drink. Sister, please slow down and you'll be choked. After all, Su Hu was a few years older and he knew he was shy. He looked at several aunts with a smile and looked at them with red faces and called out to his sister. Several people even smiled when they saw it. Tangerine peel tea has the effect of digesting and appetizing, and removing food accumulation. People with stomach cold should drink less. Chapter 47 Persuasion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the hospital, Miao Qingqing was out of danger after first aid and transferred to the ward. Ever since she woke up, she has been holding a water glass in her arms. Old man, you must help me find my savior. It's all my fault that you didn't come earlier and let my savior run away without even knowing his name. Old lady, you blame me for this. I told you not to come out alone but you didn't listen, you even sneaked out and got sick. What would you have done if you hadn't met a kind person? Chu Zhan looked at his old wife sitting on the hospital bed. How did I know that I would get sick so coincidentally? I just want to go out and buy something to take to my grandson. Miao Qingqing doesn't want to either. As we said, our grandson hasn't come back yet, and he's not at home even after you bought a gift. You'll cause trouble for him if you have to wait here. When I call, ask him to take leave and go back to see you, okay? We'll go back when you get better. Chu Zhan has nothing to do with this old wife. During the war between Chu and Chu, Miao Qingqing was a war reporter and later got married and had children. The two experienced the baptism of war and have always been in love with each other. I can go back to the imperial capital with you, but you can't force my grandson to marry someone he doesn't like, otherwise I won't go back with you. His grandson has not been able to go back for many years because his grandfather wanted him to marry the granddaughter of his comrade in arms. She had no choice but to secretly come out of Province S to see her grandson, but the old man came after her. Now that she has not seen her grandson, she is sick and has to go back. It feels a grief just thinking about it. Tell me, what's wrong with Xiao Ai? That brat just refuses to marry. I don't think anyone would want him except Xiao Ai with his bad temper. Chu Zhan was so angry that he stared at his beard. I don't care, you are not allowed to force him anyway. Miao Qingqing wanted to fight for welfare for her grandson anyway. Okay, as long as you come back with me, I won't force him to be with Xiao Ai in the future. Li Chao watched the old chief coaxing the old lady from the side. The old lady had to find a way, otherwise the young master would not know how long it would take to go home. Li Chao, did you hear that the old man agreed to testify, so as not to go back on his promise again when he returns to the imperial capital? Miao Qingqing was so happy that she had to bring in a witness. Yes, madam, I understand. Li Chao replied while glancing at the angry, dark face of the old leader. Chu Zhan snorted and turned his head away in anger. The next morning, everyone had breakfast and cleaned up. Qin Xue took the project in her bag to go to the AI clothing factory to find Aiguo. Qin Xue came out early today and walked slowly and leisurely, just to exercise. When we got there, Uncle Li from yesterday was still guarding the door. Qin Xue said hello, Uncle Li, good morning. I came to see Director Guo. I made an appointment yesterday. Is he in the office? Yes, you go in. Uncle Li glanced at Qin Xue and let her in. This girl's eyes are clear and polite, unlike other people who look down on the doorman with their noses in the sky when they come. Thank you, Uncle Li. I'll go in then. Qin Xue thanked Uncle Li and entered the factory and went straight to the factory director's office. Good morning, Director Guo. Qin Xue saw that Aiguo was waiting for her specifically in the office. Good morning Qin Xue, please sit down. Aiguo poured a glass of boiling water and placed it in front of Qin Xue. He went back last night and thought for a long time. Maybe this Qin Xue was the savior of their factory, so he was more polite today than yesterday. Then you're welcome. This is the plan I wrote. Please take a look at it. We can talk about it after reading it. Qin Xue handed over the plan with both hands and pushed the design drawing over. Aiguo watched each line carefully, with huge surprise on his face. This Qin Xue is really a talent. I can write such a perfect plan. After reading the plan, I picked up more design drawings than yesterday and looked through them one by one. Until I finished reading it, I couldn't calm down for a long time. Qin Xue, did you write and draw this? Well, I wrote and drew. Is there any problem? Qin Xue saw Aiguo's face and knew that he was very satisfied. Qin Xue asked this deliberately. Thank you to Internet Romance and Quan Lian for your votes. Your support is my motivation. Thank you very much. Chapter 48 Happy Cooperation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No problem, the factory name needs to be changed and the cooperation will be split here. Aiguo pointed to the 2 points mentioned in the plan. Oh, you're talking about this. Do you know the Chenxi costumes that have appeared in the county these days? Qin Xue knew that people in business were very well informed, so if he had his own source of information, he wouldn't be afraid that he wouldn't know about it. Are you talking about the newly opened Chenxi clothing store near Dongqing? You know, this is what you are talking about. Of course Aiguo knew. His wife and daughter both went to buy a few sets of clothes and came back. He saw that they were very novel and beautiful, and they were not available in this county yet. Yes, that's what I drove. In just over a week, Chenxi became famous in the county. I dare not say that the whole county knows about Chenxi, but I can guarantee that more than half of the people know about it, so I want to cooperate with you because I want to bring Qin Xue to all parts of the country. I wonder if you have the confidence. As for the sharing, the factory is yours, the machines are yours, the workers are yours, and if the fabrics are yours, I will come up with the design drawings and sales ideas, and I will provide the training for the personnel, so it will be a 50-50 share. If I come up with the design drawings and plans, and you take care of everything else, then it's 30/70ths, and I'm 30% and you're 70%. How about that? Qin Xue didn't even take advantage of her, the focus was all on her. She had to spend time and effort to do it, and Aiguo deserved it. Is your share too high? I still have to pay wages to the workers. Aiguo thought the first option was better, but this share was too much. Director Guo, you have to think like this, after I come up with ideas, I still have to produce design drawings and train sales staff. You have to know that what I do here is the essence of an enterprise, and you just need to do your part well. The wages of workers are not worth what I have paid, so the share is really not much, and my ideas are the most valuable. If I hadn't been short of funds and pregnant, I would have done it myself. Qin Xue just wants to be lazy. This Aiguo looks good and she can rest assured that he is in charge. Otherwise, Qin Xue will wait for a while and the funds will be in place to buy land and build a factory by herself. Okay, I promise you, then we will do as you say when we sign the contract. Aiguo also knew what Qin Xue wanted to express. Indeed, according to her mind, she could do it well and make it bigger, so she thought about it and agreed. Qin Xue took out several other design drawings and handed them to Aiguo. These are a few sets of clothes I prepared for advertising, find a skilled pattern maker to do it, and find a few young models or women with good temperament to put on our clothes, take photos, make a commercial, and ask a TV station to broadcast it during prime time, and here's the 6,000 yuan, you can use it to shoot an advertisement and promote it together. By the way, you need to install a phone. When advertising, you have to put your address and phone number on it. Orders will come as soon as our advertisement is broadcast. I believe that you have been the factory director for so many years and this little thing is not difficult for you, right? Qin Xue took out 6,000 yuan from her bag and gave it to Aiguo. This money was taken out by Qin Xue when she passed the bank when she came over last night after they agreed last night, and some was left for working capital. Aiguo looked at the 6,000 yuan in front of him and his heart was churning fiercely. At this time, there were very few households worth 10,000 yuan. He didn't expect Qin Xue to take out 6,000 yuan at once. Fortunately, he agreed to cooperate with him. Otherwise, he believed that Qin Xue would be able to raise enough funds to do it herself soon as she said, or you can rent his factory to do it. Everything is ready-made, but she is willing to give him half of it. Soon Aiguo drew up the contract, signed it, stamped it, and handed it to Qin Xue to see if it was okay. He signed his name, took his fingerprints, and shook hands with each other. Director Guo, it's a pleasure to cooperate. It's a pleasure to cooperate. Aiguo also extended his hand and shook it. Director Guo, I'll leave first. For the rest, just follow what's written in the plan. I'll take 6 of the design drawings I've given you and make 1,000 pieces for each one. Everything will be increased as appropriate after the advertisement is broadcast. From now on, just add 2 new styles every month. The name of the factory was changed to Qin Xue Garment Factory. When shooting the advertisement, I wrote the sentence, Qin Xue clothing brings you a good mood like the rising sun. You pick a few smart people these days and I'll come over in a few days and we'll start training. Qin Xue explained what needed to be explained. I went back to the store in a good mood, preparing to go back to the military area tomorrow. I haven't been back for a long time. I wonder if my cheap husband is back. Chapter 49 Follow-up Arrangements for Work. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first thing I did when I returned to the store was to drink a glass of water. Seeing that there were no customers buying clothes in the store, I called the 3 of them over for a meeting. Qin Xue told the other sisters the good news in a good mood. By the way, she asked the 3 of them if they wanted to be salesmen. It would make a lot of money every month to run the business and place the orders. 3 sisters-in-law, let me tell you good news. I have already negotiated with the Patriotic Garment Factory. From now on, we will no longer make clothes ourselves. Once Qin Garment Factory starts making clothes, you will no longer be able to make clothes. There is no need to guard these two sewing machines. When it comes to the clothes, just take them back directly from the Patriotic Garment Factory and sell them. Of course, from today on, the Patriotic Garment Factory will be our Qin Garment Factory. I just thought that the four of us were too many and wanted to spread out the people. Which of you three wants to be a salesperson? Tell me that I am going to Qin Garment Factory to train staff in a few days. Which of you will go with me? Being a salesperson is quite hard, but one thing is the commission. As long as your order is negotiated, the commission will not be less. This is an advantage, but the disadvantage is that you have to go out to do business, right? It's also possible that the family won't be able to take care of it since she has to go on a business trip for a few days. Speaking of this, I suggest Feng Xiu not to become a salesperson in a clothing factory. Tao Tao is still young and you can't let go. As for sister-in-law Feng Hong and sister-in-law Yu Xiu, I prefer sister-in-law Feng Hong, because she is now more efficient and does not have to worry about the family, while sister-in-law Yu Xiu is less worried about having Jie. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't matter whether you go or not. Don't worry about the fact that the salary and benefits agreed before will remain unchanged, but when I go to train people, it will definitely be an opportunity that can change you, but you have to make a decision based on your own situation. I know you are older than me and your husband's official position is higher than mine. I don't look down on you, so I asked you to work with me. Just obey my orders. On the contrary, it was because you had been taking care of me and helping me after I woke up from an injury and lost my memory that I thought about giving you a hand in my career. The three of you are all literate and have good personalities. It is not difficult for you to do this state is only temporary. What I want is for you to have the opportunity to go to school for further studies in the future. If you like making clothes, study fashion design. If you like sales, study sales. Learning in the system will definitely be better than what I taught you. Of course, the decision is in your hands. Just tell me what you want to do and I will give you 3 days to think about it. By the way, I am going back to the military area tonight. Sisters-in-law, will you go back? If we go back, we'll come together. Also, I won't come to the store tomorrow because I have something to do, so all the sisters-in-law have to work hard in the store. After Qin Xue finished speaking, she looked at the three blinded women opposite. Xiao Jie, brother and sister, were accompanying Xiao Jingtao on the small bed. Qin Xue glanced at them and turned around to see that the three of them had not recovered yet. Qin Xue waved her hand to interrupt their deep thoughts. Qin Xue, are you serious? Do you really want to do that? Are we doing a good job here? It was Feng Hong who asked the question. She is older and has more worries. Sister-in-law, do you still remember what you said when I first told you about selling clothes? You say this is speculation, but we are lucky enough to cooperate with Feng Xiu, but it is impossible for us to grow bigger without reform and opening up, but it's different after we cooperate with Patriotic Garment Factory. We don't have to worry or be afraid. Director Guo will handle everything with the support of Director Guo. Without our intervention, Factory Director Guo has experienced that kind of change from a national factory to his own factory. We can just wait for the country's major reform. What do we have to worry about if our clothing store is linked to Qin Garment Factory? What do you think? Well, you're right. Let's think about it and give you the answer in 3 days. Then let's do something. The three of them discussed and started to do something. Qin Xue took a pen and paper to draw a design. Chapter 50 Changes in Space. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today Qin Xue will go back to the office and cook dinner early. Feng Hong, Yu Xiu and their 2 children went back to the military area by car, and closed the store before leaving. Feng Xiu, you two, mother and son, must pay attention to safety tonight. Don't go out if you have nothing to do, and don't open the door casually if someone knocks on the door at night, you know. Qin Xue warned worriedly. I know, wasn't it fine before I took Tao Tao alone without you? Don't worry, it'll be fine. That's different. In the past, it was because your shop was a small sewing shop and people knew you couldn't make much money, but things are different now. Recently, some people may be jealous of our business, and they may be afraid that someone will cause trouble if they see that we are not around, so you must pay attention to safety, you know. Don't open the door if there's anything wrong. If that doesn't work, just shout to attract people. Qin Xue kept talking. That's right, Qin Xue is right, Xiu, you mother and son must pay attention to safety. Yu Xiu and Fang Hong felt it was not appropriate to hear this and warned Fang Xiu. Yeah, I understand. You guys should go back quickly or you won't be able to get in the car later. Fang Xiu waved his hand and sent Qin Xue and the others away, his eyes red, wondering how he could meet these sisters who treated him sincerely. Even if my husband's family was unfair to me before, now that I have these sisters, I have no regrets. Jing Xian, did you see it in the sky? We, mother and son, are doing well now. The 5 people, big and small, returned to the military area at the beginning of the night. When I returned home under the dim light, I didn't forget to tell Fang Hong not to sleep with Captain Xie tonight, and to prepare the medicine by herself tomorrow. The water tank in the store is the spiritual spring water put by Qin Xue, so Qin Xue doesn't need to boil it herself. I know, you are the only girl who has a lot to worry about. Fang Hong opened the door and went in with a blushing face. Qin Xue looked at it and smiled, then opened the door and turned on the light with a bang. The room was deserted. It seems that the cheap husband has not come back. Qin Xue touched the table with her hand. There were streaks on the table and there was a thin layer of dust on it. Qin Xue took a basin and a handkerchief and took a basin of water and wiped the tables and chairs all over. After cleaning up the kitchen, she thought for a while and took a basin of water into Chu Molin's room and cleaned it before coming out. Mop, I usually don't feel too tired when doing hygiene, but now that I have a big belly, I feel very tired. My back was so sore that I could hardly stand up straight, so I put down the mop and poured out the washing water before I took my clothes and went into the room. Master, you are here. Xue Ling ran to Qin Xue happily as soon as she saw it. Well, Shuling, I haven't been in the space for a day and it seems a little different. Qin Xue looked at everything in the space has changed drastically, and the ground has been divided into several pieces by Qin Xue. There are ones for growing rice, corn, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and one for growing various vegetables. The fish larvae that Qin Xue caught had grown up and multiplied a lot, and they looked very plump. Seeing that Qin Xue wanted to drink fish soup, she would go to the hospital for a gynecological examination tomorrow and come back to make fish soup. In the peach blossom forest, Qin Xue also made a circle with bamboo to separate them. On one side, he raised a few hens to lay eggs. Qin Xue picked up a lot of them, and on the other side, he raised a few roosters that he could kill and eat. Li Zhao was asked to help find the rice, and Qin Xue secretly planted it in the dead of night. The chickens were secretly bought by Qin Xue from the market when he was distributing flyers and thrown into the space without anyone noticing. There were a lot of stocks in the space from various harvests. Even if Qin Xue doesn't do anything anymore, she can live a good life just relying on space. As there are more and more things in space, Qin Xue discovered that the land would become bigger, and after asking Xue Ling, she found out that it was the labor benefits provided by the original cultivators. But how to turn the rice in space into rice? This is a difficult problem. Qin Xue picked 2 tomatoes, ate them, took off her clothes and entered the pool. It felt so comfortable, and the pores all over her body were opened. Qin Xue squinted her eyes and sighed in comfort. After soaking for half an hour, Qin Xue got up and put on her clothes. Clothing.